It's Shawnee. Welcome back. So in an effort to use what I have, I brought out all of my single shadows last night and put together, I think, a dupe of the new Nomad Cosmetics palette. It is called Chamonix Apres. And excusez-moi, because French is not a language that I'm very fluent in or at all. I'm much more like in Espanol y Italiano. But French, I can't seem to really grasp it. I can't get the part of it. But I'm going to try my best and bear with me. So let me show you what I came up with. Here is the palette that I came up with. And I tried to put it together the same way that Nomad puts their palettes together, which I really appreciate. They often will have shimmers and then mattes and then shimmers and mattes and shimmers and so on and so forth. And I really like that because I think it makes it easier to put together colors or looks if that's not a strong suit of yours. Now, I do like Nomad Cosmetics and I like their palette. And just in the interest of using what I have, girl, and using my singles, I just thought, let me give it a try and see what happens. Now, I do have a list of the shades by Nomad, as well as their explanation or their description, and I will tell you the shade that I chose and the brand and everything that it's from. So I think I have a mix of Danessa Myricks, of course, Lethal Cosmetics, Sydney Grace, Adept Cosmetics, and Pretties for Your Face, Shine by SD, and Clionadh. I think, and Copacetic. It's just a whole bunch, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to first do some swatches, and then I've been thinking that I'll use the palette throughout the rest of the week and have various looks, but we'll see. Maybe I'll do one right now. And here we go. Okay, so hopefully this isn't too confusing. I have the palette that I put together with some of my single shadow shades. What I'm going to do is give you the name and description of the Nomad shade, and then I will swatch and give you the information on the shade that I chose from what I already have, right? Okay. So, of course, nothing is going to be spot on because I do not have the Nomad palette, but you can tell me what you think. And forgive my attempts at French, and here we go. First shade in the Nomad palette is called Les Alpes, and it is a duochrome white shimmer with lavender shift. I chose the shade Serenity from the Danessa Myricks Lightwork 6, the Freedom palette. Next in the Nomad palette is Haute Savoy, and it is a matte festival fuchsia. I chose the Lethal Cosmetics shade Terminus. In the Nomad palette, the next shade is Chamonix, and it is a duochrome white shimmer with green shift. And I chose the Danessa Myricks shade Release from that same Lightwork palette. Next in Nomad is Mont Blanc, and it is a matte pine green, and I chose the Adept Cosmetics shade Edward Rasmus from their Arrow palette. Believe that was limited release, but just look for a matte green-ish. The next shade in the Nomad palette is Aiguille du Midi, and it is a shimmer powdery lavender, and I chose a Clionadh shade named Regal. Lastly, in the Nomad palette is Vallée Blanche, and it is a matte plum perfect, and I chose the shade Daylily from the Adept Cosmetics Flying Fiddles palette. Moving forward. The next shade for Nomad is called Last Run, and it is a shimmery, snowy lilac, and I chose another Clionadh shade, and it is named Noble. Nomad's next shade is Off Beast, and it is a matte, misty mauve, and I chose the shade Puppy Love from Sydney Grace. Getting some mixtures there, my bad. Next in Nomad is Apres, and it is a shimmer frosty green. I chose Sydney Grace Green Mango. Next in the Nomad palette is Ski, and it is a matte glacial green, and I chose another Sydney Grace shade, Palm Trees. And then Monton Chalet is a shimmer chili blue. I chose the shade Adventure from Copacetic. And La Terrace is the next shade from Nomad, and it is a matte cool periwinkle, and I chose the shade Circadian from Lethal Cosmetics. Now, the next shade from Nomad is La Terrace. It is a matte cool. No, it's not. Hold on. The next shade is Michelle, which is a shimmer spiced wine. And I chose the shade Trinbago from Pretties for Your Face. Lion. The next shade in the Nomad palette is Raclette, which is a matte icy mauve. And I chose the shade Pilgrim from Lethal. For Nomad, the next shade is Aperitif, and it is described as a shimmer deep green. And I chose the shade Fuse from Pretties for Your Face. It's kind of like a multi-chromey thing going on. Next in the Nomad is Fondue, which is a matte icy mint, and I chose the shade Hannibal Bates from Adept Cosmetics Arrow palette. Running out of arm. Next in the Nomad palette is Shot Ski, and it is a shimmer cobalt blue. I chose the shade Royalty from Shine by SD. Lastly is the shade Last Call, and it is a matte icy blue. I chose the Sydney Grace shade Blue Maho. Blue Maho, I actually believe. So here is my take, Shawnee's take on the new Nomad Chamonix Apres Ski palette, and I like it. I don't know if it's exact, of course, but you can let me know what you're thinking. Let me know which shades you have that fit the ones in the Nomad palette, but I can say that I believe I have enough shades on my arm and also in the rest of my singles that I don't need that palette, and I'm just gonna stick with what I have and use what I got. here's the final look. So quick, all matte look that I just did at my desk. Anyways, let me know how you're doing with using your singles. Let me know if you ever try to dupe palettes or anything. What's your experience? What you doing? Anyways, I hope that some of this was helpful, and I also hope that you are continuing to take care of yourself. I would love it if you liked the video, and I would love it even more if you subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.